Okay, and we are recording. Welcome.
Awesome. Welcome everybody to our, what is this, number 5? 4. Oh, that's okay. My husband's here plugging my computer in and he's trying to sneak in and he's not very sneaky apparently. It's our 4th Zoom call. We have one more. You guys, we're in the final stretch. It's awesome. I am so excited about it. I'm really loving the things I'm hearing from everybody. Everyone seems to be, it's like it's happening, right? People are waking up and their businesses are beginning to take off, which is great. So we're here to answer questions for you. You can feel free to type them in, and Tricia, if you help me monitor that as well, that would be great. We did get a couple that came through, so I thought we would start with those on Friday. Before we get into it though, I wanted to mention, maybe I'll wait till the end. I'll do this at the end because that way if more people are on, we're going to take this group to the next step. Okay, so yes, we have 1 week left of game plan, but we want to keep you going and working together so we have more plans for you as leaders to help you keep going. Okay, so here were the questions we got. One was from Katie Lester, and her question was, how do I handle someone that wants to sign up as a retail customer to order just one oil? I tried to explain the purpose of the oil starter, why it was formulated with great attention to benefit every system of the body. I explained that the purpose of the oil class was education and there was no obligation to buy just one oil. She still signed as retail. What could I have done differently? We'll end there. She's not going to be able to be on the call, but she'll be able to watch it later. So what could she have done differently? Does any of the leaders want to grab that one? I can.
Sure, Laura. Personally, I do think there are things that you can add to that, but sometimes you just have to let people buy retail. It doesn't affect your bottom line a whole lot. You get 24% of the PV, and hopefully you can help to educate them to the lifestyle and the value that we offer through the wholesale membership.
Yeah, agreed. I will say often retail people just don't get it yet, obviously. So part of me thinks, well, should I have done something differently? And yeah, maybe. For Katie, I would say, look back and say, is there something I could have done differently? But the truth is, we're not going to win over everybody. Just like Tricia said, some people just don't get it, or they're already stuck in this mindset of it's too much money or whatever it is, or I've tried this before, it doesn't work, or I've joined these groups and I've gotten tons of stuff and I never use it, whatever. They've all got their own story. And it may not happen ever, or it may happen after a while. The nice thing about when they join a retail group is they're going to get onto your product user group page, your team page, and they're going to start getting dripped on that way, and they'll be part of your email campaign, and they'll become part of your care call ritual, that series, that you're going to give them a call periodically, and you may eventually win them over, if you will, but sometimes it's just not meant to be.
And I'll just say, this is Melissa. I'm on my phone. Exactly what you said as far as being on the care call ritual. We're hoping that having just one oil will give them a good experience, and they'll start to get hooked in the whole lifestyle and see the value. And so using it as an opportunity to make sure they're using the product, because we all know the starter kit is the best option as far as having a good experience and really starting to get dip your toes into the lifestyle. So the best chance of them having that one oil be a lifestyle change is for you to follow up, 3 weeks afterwards, to make sure they're using the product, they're loving it, re-educating them, and remind them about their options, best bang for your buck, as well as creating an oily lifestyle with a starter kit. So I think the follow-up is what's most important here. And good job for taking the step. Celebrate it.
And when I follow up, I like to do a lot of forming then, or forwarding, which I prefer from the women's networking, which is having conversation where you find out about family, occupation, their job, how's it going, you enjoying it, recreation, what they do for hobbies and their dreams. Because the more you I was going to say pry, there's got to be a better word for that, right? The more you inquire, and especially if you know the person, it's like, oh, how's Sally sleeping? And how is Jake doing in school? And it's you can just ask questions about their kids and their husband. Are you open to exploring what might be a solution to that? And then you begin to share other ways that you can use the oils, other ways they can help them too. So that's a great way to do it through the follow-up. Good. Does anybody else want to add anything at all?
I do have a true confession. No one in my team knows this, but I actually got started as a retail customer. Mostly because I didn't know. And I'm not sure that my sponsor actually knew a whole lot about it. She was still very new to it. This was 11 years ago. But she put me in her email list, and I got emails from her all the time, which was perfect for my kind of person. I love the research. And back then we were getting all kinds of crazy informational emails that we just don't get anymore. But she dripped on me for almost an entire year. But when I was ready to go, I was ready to go. I got the kit, I was on Essential Rewards, and boom, I was ready to start sharing with friends. So, if you, as we've been talking about, if you put them in your follow-up system and keep following up with them, they'll come to understand what you're offering.
And maybe you need to drip as a person and make a person connection. And that's the reason why they're your retail person, is because they are someone who needs you as a person and not necessarily for the oil side of things. And eventually they'll start to get into the oil aspect, but they just need somebody to be in their life at that particular moment in time. I have a retail customer that's like that right now. So
absolutely. Well, and I keep going back to Melissa Bepping. 10 years, hardly using it. She wasn't retail, she was wholesale, but she wasn't on ER or anything, and she's hardly using them, and now look at where she is. So I love it. She says, you never know where there's $1 million line underneath you. You just have to keep checking in. Okay.
And I just want to say one more thing. I just really want to say it's about relationships. It's not about starter kits. So you're developing a relationship with this person. So, and if that's the focus, it'll be successful for everyone.
Yeah, and I would put in that now that we're just back from convention is the perfect time to pry open that door and touch base with everybody, right? I don't know, I came on late, so I don't know if we already talked about that, but your door is open. There's so many great products. There's so much opportunity. You now have that perfect door to call, to write, to start, to get in touch with anybody that's either retail or wholesale. And if they've been retail with you for a while, they might not even realize, back then they might not have wanted to give their social security number. They still might not know that they don't have to do that. It's a perfect opportunity to talk to them about that as well and get them to flip. I've got people that did not want to give because of a social security number. And now, you can work with them.
Absolutely. And gosh, the makeup, y'all, I'm so excited about it. I can hardly stand it. It's cheaper than what I used to buy in cleaner. Like, thank you, Melissa. By the way, I saw your post about the price comparison. I was like, it really is cheaper, because I thought it was, but I wasn't positive. That was a great post.
And I'm even excited about makeup. And I don't wear it.
Yeah.
At all, ever. And I'm stoked about the makeup.
You and me both.
Hey, I would just like to check in with that iPhone and see if that's Courtney. I know she was going to try to join us.
It's 818. Oh, I don't know.
Oh,
nope. That is
not Courtney, but nice to see you. Thank you.
Courtney is without internet for another week and a half, if you can just wrap your head around that. She lives in the country and it's down and they can't get it fixed. So that's why she's not with us today. So she was going to try and join by phone. All right, next question. Mary Fairchild. Can someone give me an explanation of why we are required to spend a minimum of 50 PV to get the enroller bonus and 100 PV to get commissions? I have encountered this question several times, most recently and most often from my super skeptic husband, who says it smells like a scam. I've tried to explain it in a way, it's a way to become a product of the product. Asked him if he wanted to buy something from someone that didn't use the products themselves, but he needs more. And this is a really good question. So I would love to throw it out. Susan and Trisha, you guys are even, we'll say, I know they've been around a little bit longer. I have my reasons that I give people, but I'm curious if there is an official stance from Young Living, because that I don't know.
You know, I don't think that there's an official reason, but again, you know, to say to your husband, you know, one of the things that's really important is that Young Living wants to know that the people that are representing them, they do not pay for marketing. They don't put up billboards. They want to know that the people that are representing them are using the product, are a product of the product, and can speak about the product from personal experience. To be asked to spend $50 a month on shampoo or toothpaste or sunscreen or makeup or an essential oil is not a lot when someone gets going, because you don't need to buy thousands of dollars worth of product and have them in your closet. You don't need to spend a ton every month. $50 to get started, and then $100 once you get going. It just shows that you're committed to your product line. Because I have to be honest with you, I would not buy from somebody who said, oh, I don't buy anything every month, I just sell it. I want to know, and I think that me as a user and working with people, it makes much more sense to them when they can hear that I not only use the laundry soap, but I use the vitamin C, the Super B, the Mega Cal, the multi-greens, I use the MindWise, I use the Ningxia, I use the Nitro. Not that I say that to everybody because then they go, well, you're just weird, but that it's an important part of my lifestyle and it's an important part of my family. So for them requiring you to do that, it would be like, think of it this way. You could totally build a business, find 2 business builders, and they could go and find a third one they can go. And you could sit back here and go, oh, yeah, I'm going to make lots of money. That's a scam. When you can make lots of money and not have to work for it, in my mind, that's a scam. And that's what would happen if you weren't spending at least $100 a month and you didn't have at least $1,000 in PGV. That's a scam. That means you just found people, you let them go, and you do nothing. So to me, that's more of a scam than them requiring you to be a product of the product. I don't know. What do you feel?
I agree with you so much, Susan. And to be honest, I don't even know about the laws controlling network marketing, but I think if you are not making a purchase, then it does fall into being a scam. And you may know in the policies and procedures that there are certain rules about not stockpiling product as well, because I'm certain there are people, shame for them if they're not using the products themselves, who make their 100 PV purchase and then retail that product because you're allowed to do that. But I do think if you pull out the personal investment in the product, then it does become a scam. So I always talk about it as being a product of the product. And the difference between the 50 and the 100 is often confusing to people. The 50 to me is to make it easy entree for the people that are just getting started and just helping friends get started so that they can get those enroller bonuses and understand that they do need to invest in this business, both a little financially and a lot of, elbow grease, whatever the word we want to use, a lot of your time and effort. So that, I think Susan talked about it really beautifully.
Yeah, and it allows you to get that starter kit and get that starter kit paid back for by sharing with 3 people, right? You share with 3 people. And I love the comment. I don't know if you saw the comment in the chat, but it's kind of like the Chevy dealer driving a Honda. I love that. Whoever put that up there, that was awesome. It's so true. Yeah, it's so true. And again, I don't feel they're not requiring you. So I was in another MLM. I was scrapbooker. They required us to do an amazing amount every month. And it was really hard to do, right? So to have something where it's so easy to do, and your shampoo, your toothpaste, your soaps, yeah, I just don't think that it's bad. And again, it would be much more against me to say that I don't have to buy anything and I can make money. That's not a job.
And
I will add, I do all of that. I say you've got to be using this product or you're totally out of integrity, in my opinion. And what we want is people to be on ER because that's the foundation of our business. And I think it's also out of integrity to want other people to do it when you're not doing it yourself. And finally, and this is, I will say that this is something that I have one person on my team doing this. She's actually on welfare and wants to get off of welfare, but she has to, if she earns, she can earn a tiny bit. So she does 50 PV occasionally, but she occasionally doesn't get a paycheck because she can't afford to be off of welfare, but she's working on building her business so she can be off welfare, if that makes sense. So she can choose those months she gets the check. She, you know, we add it up and look at it. And she's like, all right, that won't push me over the cusp. I can take the money, so she places an order. And so that I think is kind of cool. I feel like I'm playing the system a little bit, but it's possible, right? I mean, you can do that to play the system, if you will, but it's going to help her get off of welfare. And I think that's a pretty cool thing too.
Yeah, well, because once she's got a big enough organization, she can say goodbye.
Exactly. And then she will. She's doing a really good job building it up. It's pretty cool. So.
And there are some network marketing companies out there that if you don't place your couple $100 order of products that you're supposed to be selling to people, you not only don't get any kind of a commission check, but you lose your place in line. Like, so I had a friend that she was doing parties, and she had to place, I think, $500 worth of, an order of at least $500 worth of products a month, because 1 month she wasn't able to, and she built herself up to whatever rank, working hard for like 6 or 8 months, and really dedicating herself to it. 1 month, because she's a single mama, she could not do the order, and she lost her entire rank status and commission compensation plan and had to start back down at ground zero.
Yep.
So it's nice that we don't have to place an order if we, aren't entitled to a commission check, or in Laura's case, don't want it that month, and we still keep our organization underneath us. That's huge.
I will say, I have yet to hear anything about Young Living that makes me really concerned. It's like I hear these stories about other MLMs, and it's like, wow, you do? Like, we have it so easy. It's great. I hope that helped. Does anyone have any other questions about that? And do you have any other questions? See if we got any other questions to answer tonight. Any other leaders have anything that they want to say?
No, again, it's so great to see so many people on and asking questions and sharing. I think that this is
5 weeks into it. So
Nice.
this is
amazing.
So I have a quick question.
Yes.
So I guess I didn't even know about the 50 PV. I thought you automatically had to start at 100 PV. The 50 PV is only your first 3 months of your business. Is that how it is?
No, so here's how it works. When you set up a new account, so you're brand new and you've just set up your first account, okay? You only have to spend 50 PV to get the commission off of that very first sign up. In the second month, 50 PV to get 25% off anything they buy, and 50 PV in the third month of anything they buy. They call it, that's to get you started and get you going. When that person gets to the 4th month, you, as the business builder, have to spend 100 in PV to get the 8%, okay? So, anytime you set someone up new, you only have to spend 50 PV.
Okay.
But if you've been in business for a while and you've got a lot of people that you have in your organization, if you don't spend that 100, you won't get that 8%. But for those that are on that balance of just starting, sometimes losing that 8% because they've only got 2 people that are, maybe buying, but they've got, 2 people that are brand new. They don't mind foregoing that 8% because they need a couple more months at 50 PV to get themselves off the ground. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Sure. And that applies anytime you set up somebody new. The enroller gets 25% for the first 3 months, and they get, if they sell a starter kit, they get that $25 bonus or 25 PV if you're out of the country.
I have a nice graphic, the tale of 2 paychecks, that I'll put in the thread where the questions were as well to explain if anyone's visual what Susan was saying too.
That's great.
I love the name.
Marie, did you have a question? I thought your hand was up too.
It was. I do. Well, it was to Laura's comment about how you don't have any concern about Young Living, which I don't either, but I do want to speak to the fact that I had a friend that worked with Leah Sophia, and I don't know if anybody's familiar with that line, but it's a jewelry line, right? And so they dissolved the company and ended up taking all of the members and bringing them on to just their online and got rid of all of their distributors. So I wasn't familiar with how Young Living actually has that structure. Is that something that's could maybe Susan or Laura might be able to?
So I mean, as
What's
far
your
as,
question?
Yeah,
You're wondering if they would do that?
Yeah. What's the guarantee that that can't happen in this instance? They would get rid of all of us and keep all the members and just make them members of their website?
Oh yeah. So truthfully, if you looked legally, probably any company could do that. But once you get to convention and you meet Gary and Mary and you realize where their passion is, they would then have to do all the advertising, all the explaining. It makes no sense in a Young Living structure because we are the face of the company. They could never touch as many lives as they could because we are the ones that do that for them. They would then be required to somehow touch everybody. And we all know that print advertising is very different from actually getting to touch the product and see the product. So the company structure doesn't really fall to just being a members only. We don't need you in the middle. It makes no sense for what they're trying to do. It just doesn't play right. It's unlike jewelry, which you might not need to see it, where this, you need to touch, you need to smell, you need that connection. It's such
and you need to hear the stories, right?
It's all about the connection. And Gary, again, I traveled with Gary for about 2 years. The pride he takes in his distributors, the fact that he's built his company the way he has, and that he and Mary are committed to creating wellness, purpose, and abundance for their distributors and wholesale people and even retail people. But truthfully, they are highly invested in every one of us. They're real and they're genuine. And when you meet them, you understand where that is. It's just a connection there that it would never even fall into their realm. It wouldn't be even on their radar.
What she said.
Great question.
Just curious.
Yeah, no, it's a good question. It's a really good question.
And I think the longevity of our company speaks to that. This company has been around for a really long time. They like how network marketing works. It works best for the product that we bring to the market.
Yeah, and if you've been with the company for a while, you know that about, I want to say 5 years ago, they restructured the commission. They had done a commission and they realized that whoever had created it actually created it and it would have destroyed the company. That how the bonuses were paid out in that, you could actually gyp the company. There were ways that you could trick it so that you could be doing stuff and getting money. And when they changed it over, Mary took the time to look at every opportunity. And that's where they created a lot of the principles that they do now, like the collapse in the line and those kind of things, so that it really becomes a great way for you as a distributor to build properly, make a good income, and it keeps the company stable. So they really took a long time when they built that. And it was a huge undertaking by Young Living to do the comp plan. And if you look at their compensation plan against many other companies, you're going to find that there are not many that can hold up to Young Living for all that it does for its distributors. It's really very impressive. And they could have 5 years ago when they found this, taken the time to change it so that it didn't work for the distributor or that it worked better for them. You know, Gary could at this point retire, sit in a corner office, ride his horse everywhere. He has no desire to do that. His desire is to be forwarding the company, creating more products, and keeping that integrity up. It's very remarkable in today's industry.
I will add that his corner office, which is beautiful, hasn't a single piece of paper in it. It's totally meticulous.
And he's not,
I
not comfortable there.
Staff, I said, is he ever here? And they said, no, he's always at the farm. Now, Mary's desk is littered with papers everywhere.
Always. And you know, when you work with them, like if you go to the farm, how many people have been to the farm? How many people have like been up to Idaho? You've worked with Gary, right? When you come up to Idaho and work with Gary is the first one up in the morning. 5 o'clock in the morning, he's already up and out and coming back for breakfast when people are just waking up. 8 or 9 o'clock at night, he's still out there on one of those tractors clipping trees or doing stuff. He's the last one in, the first one up, and he's the longest one out there. He's on the machinery, he's running the chainsaw, he's running the horses. He's right there with you, talking to you, working with you. So it's really amazing to see so much education, because again, at this point in his life, he doesn't have to do that. He could totally be doing something else. He has no desire. It's all about the company and the product and making sure. I planted trees. We were in Highland Flats, and we had this new tree planter, and you had to plant the trees, and you had to sit on the back of this thing and drop the trees every so often. And what was really funny is, again, he could have said, go do this and come back. He sat there and worked with us on the seat, you know, trying to figure out what they're right. I mean, his integrity. And then they went to get something and came back, and there was a group of us, and we had kind of gotten off. We sat and redid all those lines so that they were correct, because it was more important that it be right than not right, because that's going to be the quality of the tree and the integrity of the tree. So it really is remarkable.
So y'all, we were thinking we wanted to ask Susan, do a special Zoom call where we could ask Susan all these questions about Gary. How many of you guys would like that? Right? Me too. Okay, Susan, we're going to figure that out tonight. We'll figure that out for this week.
Okay.
Okay, let's get you so we can, she wanted the questions ahead of time so we can riddle her with questions, but she traveled by his side for how long? A year and a half?
I was with him for 2 years. I was his director of operations for World Peace Caravan. So we traveled to the Middle East together in Canada. We met the Dalai Lama together. I mean, we had some really fun stuff. We had some really fun excursions. So
I want to hear all about it. I know, I'll speak for me. I think that'd be amazing. And the more you hear about Gary, y'all, the more you know you're in the right place.
Yeah.
You just do. He's just sounds amazing. All right.
Laura,
Yeah.
we had a question come up in the chat from Valerie. Did I hear at convention it was said there will be a starter kit with the makeup? When would that happen?
So I don't know. Did you guys hear anything? I have not heard anything. It would make sense, but I will tell you, we just had this conversation. I have a call just before this one, and there are people doing a makeup starter kit. And if you haven't seen it, basically what they've done is they are putting together a package that you get certain pieces of the makeup and a $45 membership. Okay, so let's be very clear. They've added up the pricing. It comes to about $180. They're calling it a starter makeup kit. But basically what you do is you set them up with a $45 membership, the basic membership, and then they get certain pieces of makeup, right? That's their starter kit. So it's not really a true starter kit by Young Living standards, but it's a way to get started with makeup. You, as the person enrolling them, there is no bonus or commission for that $45, but you'll get 25% on all the makeup that's sold. So you can create your own Get Started with Young Living kit on makeup. It's very easy. If you're good with makeup or you find someone who is, figure out what the pieces are. The foundation, the blush, a lipstick. You want it to be somewhere within the price range of the regular starter kit, $160, $180. But you can do whatever you want with that. Yeah, there you go. I mean, it's a way to do it. And you can call it Get Started with Young Living Makeup.
And I would actually suggest go ahead and pop it up to 190 PV for them, put it on Essential Rewards, so that they can get the bonus oils and some product credit right from the beginning.
Yep.
That was what I was going to ask. You can put all of the stuff that they get on Essential Rewards that night. Beautiful.
As of July 1st.
As of July 1st.
Okay.
Yep. Just remember this. When you set up an account, and let's say you set it up on July 1st, your date for delivery might not be until July 14th.
But you can
call and push it through. You can do it also on the computer. But if I was setting up an account, I would personally take the time to call and push it through the next day. If that makes sense. push through the ER order. Otherwise, they'll have to wait till that ER data come through. Right?
My question face is,
Amanda, you just bleeped out.
is the gift card Oily Tool website that Laura just posted.
So you bleeped out to the middle of that, Amanda. If you're asking, I answered the question, Tara's question. She said, I have a random question about gifting, sharing Oily Tools with our downlines. They can have a month for free. I looked all over the Oily Tools app and didn't see anything. How do we do it?
Not on the app. It's on the, you got to go on the computer.
Right, on the website.
On the website. And it's a great gift. But I would also tell you that when you're working with that, if they are a brand new star, it's probably not a good time to gift them the Oily Tools app unless they're going to be able to afford it. I would wait until they're a little farther along and have downline to look at, because I think part of the beauty of your Oily Tools app is being able to see things happening. And if they don't have anybody to see, it doesn't make it half as fun as when you can see things grow. So wait till they've got a little bit of an organization.
But it is also really nice when you can actually see all of the products coming in and out of stock.
Very fun.
So for me, even when I wasn't like any further along, even as a star, $6 is not that, for some people, $6 isn't that big of a deal. So for me, it was really nice to be able to see this products going in and out of stock and to be able to know kind of what my paycheck is going to look like. So it was it's fun even for those that they're starting to build and you can see the progress with it. Yep. But yeah, they're fun.
And if you do decide to gift your leaders a month, it's a 30-day gift that starts from when you start it. So make sure that they know that you're gifting it to them, because it will just start running as soon as you gift it to them.
I do it as my executive rank up gift. I give 3 months. So if they don't already have it, if they have it, I give tools. So
do you buy the other months, Laura? Do you set it up with them that you buy the last 2 months?
Yeah.
And how do you do that?
You can do it through the website.
Okay, cool.
I give them a 3-month gift card or whatever, if they don't already have it. They happen to have it now because we talk about it a lot on our team. We love that app.
It's a great app.
It is. It is really good. Okay, any other questions, comments, issues? How are we doing? All right.
How are people going about their asking 50? How is that looking for them, for people that are coming to events?
So she's asking if you've been asking your friends, to go into the Facebook event and invite 50 people.
How has that looked for you guys? Has it been good? Is it what? Positive, negative, not happening?
I have both positive and negative. I have some people who can't find anybody to do it. Other people have no problem. I think it's a personality thing.
And I know for me personally, asking friends to do that, I need to be more clear and more specific with them, because some of them just end up sharing the event on their timeline, and that's not what I want them to do. So it's about being specific with your language and helping them understand what it is you want them to do.
If you've seen Sarah's video, I think it was Thursday, it might have been Fridays, but I think it was Thursdays. She talks about how she phrases it again, and it's much clearer that time. It's not necessarily, she approaches people who aren't necessarily even oil lovers. It could be her aunt, and just say, hey, if I had a storefront, I know you would be in there buying socks to support my business. This is how you can support my business. Go into the event and invite 50 people. So I thought it's really helpful. So if you're really still struggling with the verbiage and how to approach people, listen to that video, watch that one. Like I said, I think Thursday. So what is that, day 19? Good. Any other experiences at all that you want to share around that?
How are you doing with your game plan minis? Are you following up? Yeah, is everybody following?
I love them. They are so easy to hand out. It's like, and there are times where I literally like hand the book and run because I'm so nervous, and other times when I really can have that conversation with the person, because I have the organza bags, and I've got a DVD or CD in there where I burned the recordings, and I definitely have kits that I just carry in my purse. So sometimes it's just hand it and run. I've left it with a few wait staff, at restaurants, and I write a note in there about, how much I enjoyed them, and I hope they keep their income options open. So I was kind of too chicken to say anything, but I left it with them. But when I do have the courage to say something, totally following up with them too. How's it going? Have you checked it out? So, yeah. Anyone else?
And you guys know me, I'm the tools chick, right? So if you bought the CDs directly from Sarah's site, they come with a beautiful label on them. Just be sure to put your own contact information on that when you give it out to somebody. But if you burn your own and you're not like a graphic design person, I don't know if you can see that. This label was put together by the Oil Posse, excuse me, the Oil Posse. So you can download that and add your team information on the bottom, your team and contact information. And it's just a regular label. It's not a CD label. So you can just stick it on the outside of a CD envelope.
I think she actually puts that on somewhere on her page of what the exact sticker is, so that you know the size of it.
Yeah, the template. She does the Oil Posse, and I think Sarah has it on hers too.
I know Sarah has it on the flash drive. She has the labels there for CDs.
Good. All right, anyone else? Okay, well, before we let you go tonight, let's talk a little bit about next steps. Next Sunday, we will have our last Zoom for this training, so we'll do one more. And then we wanted to do something to help you guys keep going a little bit. So we decided to do a book club. Starting July 10th, we are going to read The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. Now, oh my gosh, so we were going between a couple of different books, and this one was chosen, and I had to giggle because I read it, and it's exactly what I need. So I read it over convention. It is awesome. It's all about reaching your joy ceiling as good as you're willing to let yourself feel, and then moving beyond it. You got to read it. It's amazing. So we're going to read that over 6 weeks, starting July 10th. It'll take us until almost the end of August. And then September 1st, we're going to start a whole new game plan with a new group. So y'all get your 2 people into that one, okay? In fact, actually, you should get 2 people starting your next game plan. I think it was Sarah on Friday. She said, okay, you need to be ordering your books, because get 2 people to start as soon as we're done. So next Monday, get your 2 people that you are starting to train to get through them, and then have them get 2 people, and y'all can do it together September 1st. Did that make sense? Did everyone grasp what I just said? As a blue, it's hard to talk numbers without losing people. So keep going. Keep your momentum going. Okay, they may not do it as fast, they may do it faster. I have certainly had red personalities who go through a training. I have had a training before the game plan, and I had to giggle because I had some people it took 6 months to get through it, and other people I gave it to them at 10 o'clock Saturday morning, and at 10 o'clock Saturday night, they were texting me with, what next, I'm done. So, let people go the pace they want to go, but get them started, okay? So September 1st, we're going to start a brand new one. It's approximately September 1st. We'll figure out the exact dates and let you know. And take you guys into masterminds. So those of you who want to join masterminds, we will begin creating those for all of you, okay? So next step, did I miss anything, you guys, fellow leaders?
You might just want to tell a little bit about what the mastermind is.
It's Susan's brainchild, so please do.
So, and again, basically masterminds are what we did. That's how the 5 of us met. We were put by corporate into a group of goals, and we had a mastermind. We met once a week. We talked about different topics. My group, the folks from my group, they're on it. We just completed them. This is an opportunity for you to be part of a group that meets once a week, starting in September, and you'll read a book and you'll tackle some type of leadership or young living type thing. So we did income producing activities, we did compliance, we did leadership qualities, and each one got an opportunity to talk about it. And we talked about the book that we read. And I think every one of us would tell you the same thing. We created a bond that we would never let go, because it's cross line, it's people from all over, and each one of us has really elevated our own performance, and we're accountable to each other. We created this cross line, and we want to give you all that same experience, to meet with people from all over the country and have that particular mastermind. So anyone that's interested, will offer that.
Yep. What she said. Yeah, and the nice thing was, there were probably 12 of us on it total, but the 5 of us were the ones who really fully embraced the group and took advantage of it. And really, it's as big or as little as you want to make it. And we decided to make it big and really take advantage of the connection and the fact that we all had different talents, right? How great was that? I mean, when we picked out of 12 topics, when we picked our topic, I had to giggle because there really weren't another one that I would be able to talk as well on as the one I talked about. So I was able to share my own expertise with everyone, which was great. So, all right. Well, we're going to end for tonight. I think we're all set. Get ready. Your last 5 days coming up. We have a big giveaway at the end for y'all. We all doing stuff for our teams. For those of you who finished strong, get a little something, something at the end, and get your book. If you want to join us, we'll be starting this July 10th. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.
Hey, guys.
And the book is on Audible.
All right.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.